Hello and welcome back to another Crank Miniatures video. This time we will be unboxing and painting the newly released PHR launch assets. So the launch assets are really an optional little thing that in Dropfleet Commander you have cardboard tokens that represent things such as torpedoes, bombers and fighters, and if you feel like it you can upgrade and make your play space a bit fancier by using the launch assets, which are newly released on sprue, hard plastic, basically tokens, effectively. But I wanted to do a quick unboxing and show off what's in the box, and I also wanted to show off the new box that I've not seen before from TTCombat. So this is how I received it from TTCombat. It was in a cardboard box with bubble wrap packaging as well, but unfortunately, due to the shipping company's mistreatment, as you can see, the box itself has taken a bit of damage. And this, unlike the regular TTCombat boxes, is made of very thin cardboard, so you can hear that there, which does crumple a wee bit. But let's pop it open and take a look. So as you can see in here, the whole thing can fold apart, and the contents themselves seem to be in good order. Now I've not looked through the bubble wrap packaging yet. I want to do that on camera for the first time. So we've got two separate baggies here. I assume this one is the bases, being that it's a smaller bag. Let's take a look. And yep, that is the bases. So what do we have here? They look like, well, I guess they are resin cast, I think. I'm not too sure, but that doesn't feel like HIPS plastic at all. But if that was poured, then I think this is 3D printed, I have to suspect. What have we got here? We've got a line, a wavy line through that. Not sure if that's showing up well on the camera. This one is quite thick, so we've got one of the 5 dots and another one. You can see the difference in thickness there. I'm puzzled. I feel like these are 3D printed, but they're quite smooth on top, rough on the bottom. I'm puzzled. What are these? What are these kind of splashes on them? I have to admit, I have no idea what these are. They feel very light. I don't think it's HIPS plastic. I feel like it's 3D printed, but I don't fully understand them. But anyhow, let's move on. So the next little baggie here, I assume, is the launch assets itself. And we have a little bit of the cardboard packaging has made its way in there somehow. And then we have the sprue. And I thought this would be HIPS, but I have to say, I believe this is 3D printed somehow. I see layer lines all through it. All through it. It's covered in them, and there you can see the telltales sign of 3D printed supports. So, not what I was expecting. I honestly thought this would be an injection molded product, and it is not. But we can see here we have all the fighters, we have the torpedo, and we have the bombers. And this, of course, is for the PHR. So I'll come back in a moment once I've got these assembled. Okay, I'm just jumping in mid-video. So as I said before, these are 3D printed, and unfortunately the tolerances are off. So these pegs on the bottom of the ships, and these are the bombers at the moment, but I've, as you can see, I've done the fighters here, don't actually fit inside the holes. So this is definitely a design flaw. Could be that the tolerances are just too tight, and when they're 3D printing these, they're over exposing a bit and causing the holes to be smaller and the pegs to be larger, but it is causing this to be a very unpleasant experience to assemble. So what I'm having to do here is basically cover the entirety of the peg in super glue and then a little bit more in the socket, just to give something to stick to, because you kind of need the edges of the peg to touch the edges of the hole, and that to be your bond. And what's working best for me is using a set of tweezers here to sort of position and get it roughly in place, and then with my other hand then I can rotate and fix a line in place. But as you can see, like that other one that was glued a while ago, and this gel super glue is a bit slow curing, but it's not got a solid bond. Certainly not what you would get from high impact polystyrene, which is what I would prefer these to be made out of. Yeah, being 3D printing, I don't know if this is typical. Maybe this is just a batch that happens to have had the exposure time being a bit high, but it's not been a pleasant experience to put these together, unfortunately. So TTCombat, if you're listening, I love the innovation. However, 3D printing a commercial product is not good. That's all I'll say. All right, now that everything is assembled, so let's show them off a wee bit. So we've got 3 stands of bombers. We've got 4 stands of fighters and a single torpedo. Yeah, and I have some thoughts. As I said, the 3D printing, TTCombat, it's just not it. Like, I've let this cure for so. This is partly due to the super glue I'm using, but yeah, that's just not gone in right. I'm gonna have to re-glue that. Yeah, the pegs do not fit the sockets. It's a real shame, but everything feels very brittle, and I can't force the pegs into the sockets. It doesn't work. There is either a design issue or a manufacturer issue with this, and it's an issue that's, I think, inherent in 3D printing. 3D printing is fantastic for prototyping, great for home hobbyists, fantastic. I think it's a wonderful technology, but for mass manufacture, I just do not like it. These took so much longer than they would have if they were HIPs to assemble, and frankly, it's kind of killed a little bit of my enthusiasm for my PHR fleet that I'll be producing. And I actually wanted to paint these tonight as well, and end the video with showing how to paint these miniatures, but I feel like I'm going to have to leave these to cure overnight just to be sure that I've got a good bond with the super glue, because they really are not in there correctly. Now, that said, this could just be a first batch issue, something that TTCombat will fix. I mean, we know that they're a company that's very interested in the quality control of their products, and making sure that they are producing fantastic products. Everything else I've had from TTCombat has been great. Yeah, I think this is the first batch of these 3D printed launch assets, and I'm really excited that we have unique launch assets for every one of the factions. I think it's brilliant, a brilliant way to add a bit more flavor, and they really are, they're lovely. They fit with the aesthetic of the faction. They're unique, they look unique. You certainly don't need to have them, but it's a nice addition to have. My issue is with the manufacturing process itself, so just my thoughts on that. But yeah, I will do a video painting these up at another stage, I think. I'll let these cure overnight just to make sure I've got the best bond I can possibly have. But yeah, you can see things like this. This is one of the earlier ones I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it lined up correctly, and that is an issue with, you know, having to super glue 3D printed parts together. It didn't go on straight. I can't adjust it like I would with plastic glue. And as you can see, you can just make it out there. The hole is undersized for the peg. It just is. And correspondingly, the pegs all sit proud of the base. So whatever effect they were trying to go for there, it just doesn't work. We would have been better off with a flat base and a less of a peg, and just glue directly onto the flat base. That would have been better. So yeah, mixed thoughts. I like the concept of the product. Unfortunately, I'm just not happy with the execution. But that said, looking forward to painting these up and yeah, starting on the rest of the PHR fleet. So thanks for tuning in. A bit of a longer video. Unfortunately, I didn't get to paint them and I'm sorry for that, but hopefully we'll have that for you soon. All right, thanks and bye for now. And I know I already said bye for now, but I just, after turning off the camera, picked up this one, and because the pegs don't fit the holes, I don't have a good bond, and this one has just snapped straight off, and I'm very, very concerned there's going to be more like this. So yeah, anyway, bye.